And so with that in mind, what would you suggest would be one of the best ways to kick off, to get started for someone that's hit late 40s, early 50s, looked at themselves in the mirror and said, man, this isn't good. I'm not feeling real well anymore. My body's letting me down. I've got to do something about it here and get things back on track. Otherwise, it's going to be a downhill spiral from there. What would you offer, James, just to give someone a bit of a kickstart?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, man, because it's the old proverb, right? Like a journey of 1,000 steps begins with that first one. Sometimes that first step's the hardest one to take. I think there's two things. I think that before you even take that first step, you're going to have to continue looking at yourself in the mirror and figure out what your priorities are and what they really are, and figure out if you need to do some shifting around of those priorities. And so, people that say that they don't have time to fit this stuff in, it's like, the old quote from Fight Club, like people are working jobs they hate for shit they don't need. And that's, I'll guarantee you that 95+% of people who have that look themselves in the mirror moment, at the heart of what they're feeling is both what they're seeing in the mirror and also what they know has led them to it, that they've kind of sold their soul a little bit for this. They made a freaking deal with the devil and they're realizing that it wasn't really worth it. And so anyways, my point is like, I think a lot of people need to kind of figure out like what their priorities are and figure out how to prioritize themselves and their fitness in their lifestyle first. Because if you try to go on that journey with the same mindset that got you into that place in the first place, it's not going to work. Like something has to change upstairs before real change will take hold with everything else. So that's my first piece of advice. After that, it's really like start small. I think that the big thing, the mistake that people make is they try to bite off more than they can really chew, and they have the best of intentions. And so what I try to tell people is you want to set the hurdle so low that you have no doubt in your mind you're going to be able to overcome it, right? And so for a lot of people, that may be just spending like 10 to 15 minutes a day doing some foam rolling and stretching and just starting to move. And if that's where you're at, then that's where you're at. And that's your goal and that's what you do. And you build on that. You'll find that the momentum that you build from just setting, easily achievable wins for yourself will add up over the long run. And, once you've done that for a while, you'll find that like, well, shoot, 15 minutes isn't so bad. I bet I could add another 5 minutes in here. And, next thing you know, it's like, you're doing the hour a day that you originally set out to do. But instead of setting out to do an hour and only doing 15 minutes and kicking yourself in the butt, feeling bad, you set out to do 15 minutes and you're feeling good about yourself, So a lot of times it's just how you kind of frame what you're doing, in your head. And so, just start small, just start with those easy wins and try and build on those. But the priority is really moving better. So I think that mobility is the first thing that people should really try to work on.